Alright, today we're going to find out whether or not we can get really great distortion sounds out of a Fender amplifier running 3 different effects pedals. These are all distortion / overdrive pedals, as I can out of my Marshall DSL 40CR without any effects, just using the crunch channel and then also the ultra gain channel as well. I picked 3 different effects. The first one is the Citek Coca Distortion. This is a really great effects pedal made in Ireland. It's awesome. Then we're going to go over to the Valve Reaper pedal. This is made in the USA from Greenchild. It's an absolute beast. You can tell it's a US pedal. Look at it. Looks like a Humvee compared to the other one. It's a monster. It's a really awesome pedal, very versatile as well. And then we've also got the Cinnamon Drive, which is made in Barcelona. And all of these, this one especially is supposed to replicate 60s and 70s amps cranked. This one kind of will do almost anything, which makes it really, really fun. And the Coca Distortion is basically just a rockin' distortion tone. So we're gonna try these and see if it can compare to the Marshall just straight up plugged in, and you can take it away that way. Now there's some pros and cons of using both or either of these options. I guess if you've got a Fender amp and you wanna use a distortion with it, you've got an unlimited amount of resources. That said though, do they sound as good as just a Marshall distortion tone just plugged straight in? So we'll find that out today. I'm gonna also leave some polls up in the card so you can vote there as well if you don't want to comment, but comments are always welcome. Let me know what you like best and why, and I'll show you how I've got this set up. Here's the Blues Deluxe. As you can see, I've got it mic'd up with the Rode M3. These are killer microphones, and same with the Marshall DSL 40CR. Now, for those wondering, this is a 2018 amplifier. This is one of the new ones, and we're gonna start with the amp pretty loud on 40 watt mode. As you can see over here, there's 2 different modes, high and low. We're gonna click this to the high and we're gonna rock out, and that's where I've got the master set. So ear bleedingly loud. Now the Fender amps on the clean channel, obviously, and the first pedal we've got going into it is the Coca Distortion pedal from a company called Citek out of Ireland. They make some really awesome stuff, and this particular pedal I've got set to the soft clipping mode, which I think sounds pretty great, and we'll try it up against the Marshall. Just so you know, in case I haven't mentioned it, I've got a Swamp Thing Eminent speaker in the Blues Deluxe and a Texas Heat Eminent speaker in the Marshall. So this is the clean tone of the Fender to start with. All right, now with the Coca Distortion on. And now over to the Marshall, no pedals. Alright, so there's definitely some inherent EQ differences, so I'm going to try and get these as similar as I can to each other, at least with each of the pedals. So I'm going to turn up the treble on the Marshall, maybe back the mids and bass off a little bit. Let's give this a shot. And now back to the Fender with the distortion pedal. So they sound completely different to each other. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the distortion pedal to kind of mimic the Marshall at all. So I'm just going to turn the tone control down and crank the level up a little more. Let's give this a go. So they sound completely different to each other, but let me know which one you like the best. I guess the versatility option of having pedals going into a clean channel, it just gives you more flexibility in terms of sounds. You can find a pedal you like, and go with that, whereas the Marshall's kind of stuck with that one tone. And it does sound a little bit different, the Marshall, because I do have the Texas heat speaker in there. Alright, there you have it. That's the first pedal. Over to the next one. Alright, the next pedal is one of my favorite overdrives of, I think it might have been last year. It's the Valve Reaper from Greenchild. This thing's a beast. It will do overdrive, but it will also do that sort of higher gain sort of distortion tone as well. It's a really fat and thick sounding pedal. I dig it. So let's give this a shot. This is the PRS into the Fender with the Greenchild pedal on. And now back to the Marshall. Yeah. Over to bridge pickup on the PRS, I've just cranked the gain on the Marshall amplifier up, and we'll do the same on the pedal as well. I've got the gain on the pedal at about 1 o'clock right now, but I'm going to dime it in a moment. So this is bridge pickup. And now back to the Fender. And now lastly, over to a pedal called the Cinnamon Drive. I recently reviewed this. If you missed any of these videos, I'll put links up in the cards and you can check out all these pedal reviews. This one's really cool. It does that 60s, sort of 70s cranked amp sound pretty well. So let's give this a shot. I'm still on the Fender and we'll try it. Whew, that's way brighter than the others at the same setting. Now back to the Marshall, pedal off. Oh man, both of these are so loud. Now over to the ultra gain setting on the Marshall. This is a particular channel on the amp I never use for my particular type of style and playing and all that kind of stuff, but I know a lot of people do, so let's give it a go. This is neck pickup. Cinnamon Drive, gain cranked. We're going to start there, and then I'm also going to possibly click in the boost. It just depends on how loud and how powerful it is already. I haven't tried this yet, so here we go. Let's click in the boost. going to be regretting this tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Shane. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, or like I said earlier, you can vote up in the cards. The little information icon should be up there. So, what do I think personally? Listening in the room, I haven't listened to this in post or editing or anything like that yet, and none of the tracks will be affected with EQ. It'll just be as recorded. I gotta say, I think the Marshall had more attitude and a little less top end as well, especially once I started cranking up the drive. It sounded maybe a little bit smoother. That could inherently be the Texas Heat speaker that I've got in there currently. If I had the stock V-type speaker, it'd probably have a little bit more top end, but it's nothing you can't dial in or out. But what I did notice, especially on the Fender amp with the Swamp Thing speaker, is the fact that all of the distortion tones, with maybe the exception of the Green Child, had a really prominent top end, which is something that the Marshall didn't have. But this is the cool thing. You can always find a distortion pedal that will work really well with a Fender amplifier, no doubt about it. But just for straight up tone, the Marshall sounded pretty great, but I'll leave it up to you. Let me know in the comments which one you like best and why, and which way you run your rig. If you play live or whether you just play at home or whatever, let us know what your preferred method is, whether you run pedals into a clean amp or whether you just plug straight into an amp and go. I do both now. So my main pedal board, I don't often use distortion pedals. I'm more of an overdrive guy. So for me, I like both. Just depends on what amp and what guitar I'm playing, I should say. And then I just decide on basically which amp I'm taking out or how important the gig is as well. Sometimes it's great just to be able to walk over, plug into an amp and go and not have a million things on the floor. But other times, you can only get the sound you like out of a pedal too. So let us know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please give it the thumbs up. My name's Shane. I will catch you all soon. See ya.